Hey up everybody and welcome back. Well, don't get confused. I know it said Henderson in the video title and I'm sitting here next to Topper, but that's just because that's where my chair happened to be. So not sure what we're going to have this week. Probably won't be a particularly long video because, as you know, I had a few days away and today's actually July the 4th. So shortly I'll be going off to Linda's brother's for a July the 4th picnic, well, barbecue I suppose really. But anyway, it only gives me a couple of days to fiddle on, but we are going to do Henderson stuff. So the next couple of videos, I don't know, I got little bits and pieces. I got some more stuff for the Harley Hummer which I put on, and I got some more bits for this. So I'm waiting for bits for this, waiting for bits for the Hummer, which you don't really see much, but I'll show you when it's finished. And the Henderson is going to be, you know, I've got to take the crank off to get it reground and send things off, so I'm not sure what that's going to work out like. So we might have to look for some other stuff to do. But anyway, today, as I say, we're going to look at the Henderson because there are ancillary items that we've got to deal with while other things are being sorted. So let's go and look at those. Now, first thing we're going to look at is a little job I've been doing slowly now and again. A couple of the barrels had broken fins, so I've been repairing them. There's a couple there, and there's another one there. What I've done is TIG bronze them and then reshaped them. Unfortunately, I had a cutting wheel, a grinding wheel that was exactly the right thickness to fit in there. So we've got those done. But what I'm really going to look at today are a couple of things. One is, this is the inlet manifold and the carburetor, and you'll notice there are a number of linkages that go onto there, and this little thing that goes up here. And you'll also notice the cable tie there. That's because the body is broken in two completely. So looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's cast iron. We'll know for certain when we take it apart. But I'm going to try and repair that as well so we can use this original carburetor, because Jim did find a couple of other carburetors. There's one of them. And where are we? There's the other one. Nicer one. So we'll have to see what we're going to do as far as carburetors goes. So I've got that squirted with some Croil, so we'll take that apart. Now the other thing we're going to look at is the exhaust. And the bike came, well, the engine came with two. Both of them in awful shape. There's that one. And there's that one. Now, this has got screw-up flanges, which the cylinder doesn't have. It has a bolt-up flange, although of course there could be a piece to go on that. But when I look at the parts book, as you can see there, the pipe bolts directly to the head, and also you'll notice at the bottom the pipes just curl in a little bit. They've got an angle, a slight bend at the bottom. This one, as you can see, is dead straight, whereas this one has that turn. So I would say that this is the actual original pipe. So we're going to have to fabricate a pipe, which means we're going to need straight piece. I could make it go straight in. It's going to be a lot easier than trying to make these turns, but we'll have to make 4 flanges and get them all fastened up. So what else have we got to look at? Well, I think you've seen, well, that our Edison split door magneto, which is completely seized up. Now, oh God, what's his name? Anyway, the chap in the UK, I'm really sorry about forgetting your name, but I'm just hopeless like that, who's been sending me all the good information about the Henderson, actually rebuilds magnetos. So he was able straight away to tell me that this isn't the right one, because the deluxe engine is from the 20s, and this didn't come out until, I think it was 1935, he said, certainly in the 30s. So it's not the actual correct one. He told me which models would be right, and he also told me that spare parts for this were getting to be scarce. So even if I can take this apart, we might not be able to get that fixed. But we've got to look at that. And finally, another piece is that, which is the little generator. Now that spins. So it's not seized up, so we'll try and take that apart at some point. I presume that's just a little the mechanical voltage regulator. So we'll look at that. But first of all, let's start with the carb and the manifold. I've taken the carb off the manifold and got the carb part way apart, but it's worse than I had thought. You can see that this is broken, but also down inside there, actually this is broken into several pieces. Look at that. One side's got a screw in it, and one side's got this little square headed thing that hardly has enough space, but I can screw that off like that. Good old Croyle look. Although that's a brass screw by the looks of it. Anyway, the reason I'm taking this off is so that you can see. Come on. There we go. There's another broken piece inside there. Now there's the flange of that. And this is, I don't know what's in there, but there's something inside. Then there's this, which looks like some sort of pot metal. So I don't know what that is, unless it's somebody stuffed that in there as a restrictor. Anyway, at first I thought not to worry, I've got these two of the carbs, but when I measured it, this bolt pattern here is 2 3/8, and both of these carbs are 2 1/4. So let me give this a clean up and see if I can get that apart a little bit more, to find out exactly what all these internal pieces are. Now I've looked at the carb that came off this manifold, and apart from the body being broken into 3 pieces and the centre part that was broken, it's really just completely clapped out. But what I have done is I made a little template off that nicely rebuilt carb, and when I offer it up to this, as you can see, we're barely off. I mean, the difference between 2 3/8 and 2 1/4 would only be a 1/16 on each bolt hole anyway. But I think see, this one has got threads, that one hasn't. So that one's already. So what I'm going to do is, just with a file, I'm going to slightly move the centres over. I'm not going to bother putting it in the mill because there's so little to take off. and then we'll see about bolting that other carburetor straight onto here. There's lots of room here to put a bolt in. This is sort of 5/16 thick. The flange of the carb, which is threaded, so we're actually going to screw into that, is 5/16 as well. So let's say both of them, a washer and a thickness of a gasket at 3/8, that's 6/8, that's 3/4 of an inch, and this distance here is like 1 1/8 inches, so there's plenty of room to put a bolt in and screw it in. And if I get too close to here, which I don't think I will, I could always use an Allen bolt. So let me go and just ease them out a little bit, and then we'll try that carb on there. Well, as I said, it hardly took any easing off, but there it is fitted on. Actually, this side on the carburetor, the threads are virtually stripped, so I'm going to have to helicoil that side. But there it fits on nicely, so we'll plan on using that carb, because as I say, it's either new or it's been rebuilt, and it's the right choke size and everything, so I don't see why we shouldn't be all right with that. Funnily enough, it's Tillotson, for those of you who've been watching the Harley Topper thing and all the trouble I had with that Tillotson. Although actually I noticed when I was researching Tillotsons, I think that was me knocking the tripod there, you weren't having a little wobbly fit. They use Tillotsons on some of the Harleys, the V-twin Harleys, the big Harleys, the tractor ones. So anyway, that proved to be remarkably easy, so let's go and look at something else. Right, I thought while we were doing little bits and pieces I'd have a look at these valves. So the valves themselves seem to be pretty good. I haven't got any sizes for these, so until I get some I can't really measure them, but they're cleaned up alright. They're marked actually inlet and exhaust, but again, without measuring the valve stem, I don't know whether it's the stem or the guide, but can you hear that? And they're both like that. Got a lot of traffic today, particularly bikes, because there's a big bike weekend coming up close to, with a big swap meet, so I should be going to that with some money in my pocket. So I'm not, as I say, until I find out whether it's the valves or the guides that are worn, although it's probably worthwhile changing the guides. I'm not sure about what to do there, but I was looking in the book, and these tappet followers, whatever you want to call them, are actually in 2 pieces. See if you can see on the, where's the diagram? How's that? I don't want it to be too shiny. I noticed before it was a bit shiny. Where are they? Here they are. So you see it comes out sort of in one, but it's actually made up of 2 pieces. There's the valve guide, and there's this bit here. So seeing as I'm going to have to drive the guides out, they've obviously got to come out the bottom. So if I'm going to do these guides, the whole thing will have to come apart. So I'll have to find out a little bit more information on that before we go ahead and start trying to take this apart. So there's the, maybe see them better like that. That one, that one, that one and that one are repaired fins. That one and these 2 are the originals. Quite pleased with that. Okay, so today I don't think I can do any more with them. As I say, I'm not going to try and take them out until I know what's what. Right, one other thing I managed to get out and do a bit of was clean up these cases, because it had been mentioned to me that they're very prone to cracking. So this is the bottom part, the sump, and I can't find any sign of any cracking at all in this one, but move that out of the way. The top half, which I've actually done with a big wire brush to shine it up a bit, I can't find any cracks. There are some, that I can show you. That there looks like a crack, but there's no sign of it on the inside, which I've also cleaned out. But it certainly looks as if somebody has repaired a piece there. It looks as if that broke out completely, so I don't know whether they made a nice new piece, because this is the best thread on the entire set of cases. So I think somebody's made a nice new piece to put in there, drilled it, threaded it, rather than repaired a broken piece. So anyway, taken all the studs out from the top, so I'll run a tap through all of them, clean them up, and we'll finish cleaning this off. And that actually is as much as I can do this week. So sorry it's only a short one, but give you something to do on Sunday while you're drinking a cup of tea. So until next week, when, to be honest, I have no idea what we're going to do next week, go and enjoy yourselves.